Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we start our new chapter, Motion of Rigid Body, and we introduce some basic concept or basic forms, basic terms in the motion of a rigid body, in which we learn about the moment of inertia, radius of gyration, center of mass. Okay, today we are going to discuss a very important theorem in this chapter. It is parallel axis theorem. By using this parallel axis theorem, we can determine the moment of inertia of a body about any axis if we know the moment of inertia of the body about an axis of rotation passing through its center of mass. So today we are going to prove this parallel axis theorem. So what is the statement of this parallel axis theorem? This parallel axis theorem states that the moment of inertia of a body about any axis, the moment of inertia of a body about any axis is equal to the sum of moment of inertia of a body about an axis passing through center of mass and the product of mass of the body and square of the distance between two parallel axes. Okay, so what is this? Consider we need to find a moment of inertia of this body about this axis. It is equal to I0, which is equal to, according to parallel axis theorem, this I0 is equal to the moment of inertia of the same body about an axis passing through the center of mass, which is equal to IC. So we can write here it is IC plus the product of mass of the body, if the body having mass m, and square of the distance between two parallel axes, which is equal to h. The two parallel axes, and between these two parallel axes the distance is equal to h. So we can write here it is equal to h square. So mathematically we can write this parallel axis theorem as I0 is equal to IC plus mh square, where I0 is the moment of inertia we need to determine. IC is the moment of inertia about the center of mass. This is the product of mass of the body and square of the distance between two parallel axes. Okay, so we are going to prove this relation. So we know that moment of inertia of a body about any axis, we can write it as, consider a rigid body made up of small number of particles, and the mass of each particle or the mass of each region is equal to dm. Consider such a point P at which a small mass dm is situated. Okay, so if we need to find out the moment of inertia of this mass dm about this axis of rotation passing through point O, so we need that this I0 is equal to, what is I0 equal to? It is integration of dm multiplied by the square of the distance. And what is the distance between point O and point P? It is OP. Therefore we can write here OP square. Okay, so what is the moment of inertia of this body of mass dm about an axis passing through point O? It is equal to dm multiplied by OP square, where OP is the distance between this point O and P, or mass dm. Now, as we see from the diagram, we can use Pythagoras theorem in this diagram. So this OQP or OPQ in the triangle OPQ. This is a right angle triangle, okay, in which we are going to use the Pythagoras theorem, which state that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the two sides, square of the two sides. Therefore, in triangle OPQ, we can write OP square is equal to OQ square plus QP square. But as we observe from this diagram, this OQ is made up of two parts, OC and CQ. So we can write here this OP square is equal to OC plus CQ and its square plus QP square. Okay, now if we solve this bracket, we get this OP square is equal to, it is OC square plus twice OC into CQ plus CQ square plus QP square. So if we expand this term A plus B square, then we get OC square plus twice OC into CQ plus CQ square and plus this QP square. Now there is another right angle triangle which is equal to CPQ. Okay, in this case, if we apply the Pythagoras theorem, then we get CQ square plus QP square. That is CQ square plus QP square equal to CP square. Okay, so how we can write this? It is OP square is equal to OC square plus twice OC into CQ plus it is CP square. Okay, so this is the value of OP square. If we keep this value in this equation, we get another equation. But what is OC is equal to? This OC is equal to H. Okay. OC square is equal to H square. This twice OC is equal to H. This CQ is equal to, what is this CQ? If we apply here the sine theta, then we get, what is sine theta in this case? The sine theta is equal to, okay, no, okay. So if we keep this value in this equation, we get I0 is equal to integration of, this is OP square, so we can write here OC square plus twice OC into CQ plus CP square, and this is multiplied by dn. So we can write this I0 is equal to integration of, we are going to separate all this term, so it is equal to OC square dm plus this 2 is constant, this twice OC CQ dm plus integration CP square d. Okay, so what is I0 equal to? This I0 is equal to OC square dm. What is OC square? Is OC is equal to H and its square is equal to H square. So this H square is out of the integration integration sign, and this is integration of dm, plus twice this OC is equal to h, which is constant, and this integration of CQ multiplied by dm, plus what is this Cp square dm? This Cp square dm is nothing but Cp square dm is nothing but the moment of inertia of this object, of this particle having mass dm about the center of mass. So we can write here it is equal to Ic, the moment of inertia of the same mass about center of mass. Okay, so it is equal to I0 is equal to h square integration of dm. If we add the small masses dm, then we get the total mass of this rigid body, which is equal to capital M. So we can write here this h square m. Integration of dm is equal to h square m, plus this twice h into, now this integration has a value equal to 0, because the moment of inertia about the center of mass measuring the distance from the center of mass is equal to 0. Therefore we can write this as equal to 0, and it is equal to plus Ic. Okay, so it is I0 plus Ic plus mh square. So this is the proof of parallel axis theorem, in which this axis theorem states that the moment of inertia about any axis, the moment of inertia of a body about any axis is equal to the sum of moment of inertia about the center of mass and the product of the mass of the body and square of the distance between two parallel axes. So this is the proof of the parallel axis theorem. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss another very important theorem, which is equal to the perpendicular axis theorem. So this is enough for today. Have a good day. Bye.